Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to bring you a quick prom tutorial. Prom is around the corner, and if you're gonna do your own makeup or if somebody's gonna do it for you, I wanted to bring you something that is very achievable and something that is still gonna make you look like you. It's not gonna make you look like all glamour shots. The shadows I use today are all from the Morphe Brushes Jaclyn Hill's Favorites palette. I finally got my hands on it, and majority of the shadows I use today are over here on this corner. As you can see, I like dug a hole into that one. But the shadows are very pigmented. I have no complaints whatsoever about this palette. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. So if you want to know how I achieved this prom plummy look, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so for the sake of the video, I just pretty much just sped through this process because we all know how I do my brows. Actually, I do them a little bit more different compared to how I used to. So if you want to see a more updated version, just go ahead and let me know in the description bar down below. To set that primer, I like to apply a little bit of peach smoothie onto my entire eyelid. I feel like this really helps with the consistency of the shadows, the way they blend, and the lasting power. So yeah, so really this whole video is based around this wonderful, magical, beautiful palette. It is the Jaclyn Hill's Favorites palette. It's a mouthful, but really all I did was pick up some of that shadow that I pointed at with my deluxe eyeshadow brush by Real Techniques, and I applied that onto my crease and windshield wiper motions from the outer corner of my eye all the way to the inner corner. I did so just so there could be some depth. Then I went and picked up that shade right there. It was a little bit darker, a little bit more dusty rose, and I applied that to the same places, only this time I did concentrate it a little bit more closer to the eyelid. And I've noticed that doing circular motions really helps with blending my shadows. I used to just do windshield wiper motions, but this really makes a difference. So if you're having difficulty blending your shadow, try doing this technique very lightly, of course, and you're going to notice a difference as well. Then I picked up that plummy shade with the flat brush, and I just began to apply it onto my eyelid. I didn't go beyond my eyelid because I wanted that color to be concentrated on the eyelid itself, because later on I do apply a little darker color just to intensify that look. I pack on the color to my preference. If you want something darker, feel free to apply it as intense as you'd like. Going back to my deluxe fluffy brush, I just blend everything I just did to make sure everything looks nice and neat. Going back to the palette, I pick up that darker plummy color. I know they're all plummy colors. I picked that color up with this e.l.f. pointer brush. I really like this brush to really pack on the color in precise areas. If I was to use that flat brush, it'd just get all over the place, and this one really gives me control of where I apply the shadow, and it's really inexpensive. I bought it off their website for like $1. Then I just get this fluffy brush from Morphe and just blend out everything I just did, because once again we want to make sure this shadow is very well blended. I went ahead and grabbed some of that dark plummy color that we last picked up on a flat shader brush. Because I did all that blending, I did lose some intensity of it, so I just decided to pack some more of it, and then I went back in and blended it once again, only that the last time I blended I did go a little bit more light-handedly to make sure that darkness of that shadow stayed. Now that my shadow is all done, I went ahead and cleaned up any fallout that I had on my face, because we are going to move on to our foundation. To make sure my foundation stays on all night, I applied some of my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. This one's really good if you have large pores and oily skin, because this girl does. And today I decided to use my Double Wear Estee Lauder foundation. If you do want a more affordable foundation, you could use the Infallible 24-Hour Pro Matte L'Oreal foundation. That's a mouthful once again. The Double Wear does give a little bit of a flashback on camera, so I find that if I apply a powder that does have some tint to it, it doesn't do it as much, and I know the L'Oreal doesn't do any at all. So if you're planning on wearing this to prom, you may want to invest in a foundation that doesn't have any flashback. So just a tip. Now that my foundation is done, I go ahead and take my LA Girl Pro Conceal in the shade Pure Beige and apply that in a V shape under my eye. I apply this very light-handedly. I don't like to go too cakey with my concealer. I like to apply more brightening powder afterward instead of more product. And I apply that under my eye. I apply that around my nose as well as around my lips because lately I have been noticing some discoloration around my lips and a little bit of redness on my nose. And I know that's all hormonal, so hopefully it goes away. To blend my concealer, I just used this Deluxe. I believe this is an all-over shadow brush by Real Techniques. I'll make sure I put it in the description bar down below. This is a really precise brush. That's why I like to use it whenever I have darker shadow because it really allows me to have more control. I always like to go back with my damp beauty blender just to make sure everything is blended. Next, I pick up some of this banana powder from my Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit and just apply that with the Morphe Precise. I'm not sure what the number of this brush is, but it's really good, and I'll make sure I put it in the description bar down below. I just set my concealer and I apply it onto the areas where I want them to be a little bit more bright. Then I pick up some of that contour shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette and I just apply that onto the hollows of my cheeks to make sure I contour and my cheekbones look very chiseled. I apply that onto the areas I always apply contour to my cheekbones, temples, forehead, a little bit on my forehead, jawline, and a little bit down my neck. You know, the usual routine. Then I go in with that shade that is a little bit more toasty, a little bit more nutmeg, and I apply that right where we applied the original contour shade to the cheekbones. This is really going to intensify that contour and it's going to make my face look a little bit more sun-kissed. Then I pick up some of Java and I just begin to chisel out my nose. Just to blend it, I just use my fingers. It looks a little bit more natural and I don't disturb the makeup. And because I wanted to skip over this long process, I just wanted to show you the products I use to do my winged eyeliner and give my eyes some wings. Then I pick up some of my Urban Decay Zero Glide On eyeliner and tightline my upper lash line as well as my lower lash line. It looks creepy, I know, but doing this really helps with my contacts not being poked and my eyes not getting irritated, of course. I give my lashes a little squeezy and I apply a very thin coat of mascara. To me, this is a very thin coat. To you, it may be just really pushing it and making my lashes look a little bit spidery, but a girl can never go wrong with a lot of mascara, and this mascara is my all-time favorite. So this is my version of a thin coat of mascara. By the way, have you noticed that they came out with the new Miss Manga Rockstar, I believe that's what it's called? If you know if that's good, can you please let me know? Because whenever I'm about to pay for it, I always end up leaving it because I feel like I'm cheating on Miss Manga. So let me know, please. To give my lashes some time to dry, I just went ahead and applied this Baked Milani powder, baked blush in the color Rose de Oro, I believe that's what it's called, on this stippling brush by Real Techniques, and I apply that onto the apples of my cheeks. This color is so pretty. It's a little bit out of my comfort zone because I like to use blushes that don't have any reflective and any glitter, in other words, and this one's very pretty. Maybe because it's baked. That's what makes it different. Just to blend everything, I use this Morphe stippling brush, and I think I almost killed that brush that day. So I just I blend everything out on my face to make everything look very diffused. Going back to my contour palette, I pick up some of that highlighting shade with this art brush that I picked up at Michael's, and I use it as a fan brush, and I paid like $2 for it. And those are the lashes I used, by the way. I just got a small clip of them. Then I go in with that shadow that I pointed at with this pointer brush and I smudge it onto the lower lash line just to tie in the entire look. Then with my e.l.f. brush, I pick up some of that dark plum color that we applied onto the outer corners of our eyes, and I just blend that out into the lower lash line as well. I apologize for having that mirror in front of the camera the whole time, but I'm super blind, so I can't help it, but I need to see. Then I pick up some of that very beautiful reflective pink shadow, and I apply that onto the inner corner of our eye just to make everything look more wide awake. Not everything, but to make my eyes look more wide awake, of course. And because neglecting your lower lash lines is a crime, I went ahead and applied my lash accelerator. Next, I did this lip combo. I used my mauve, I believe it's my mauve NYX lip liner, and my Touch of Spice lipstick. This is a very neutral lip. I always tend to use neutral lips because really you can't go wrong with a nude or neutral or a mauve lip. And how does that look? Then just to set everything, I use my NYX finishing powder in translucent with this big fluffy Sephora brush. And this is the completed look, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have so much fun at your prom. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.